Find the derivative of y equals secant x tangent x, then evaluate y prime of pi over 3. Y here is the product of two expressions, the secant x times the tangent x. The derivative, y prime, which can also be called dy dx, will follow the product rule. The product rule is the derivative of the first expression, derivative of secant x, which is secant x tangent x, times the second expression left alone, tangent x, plus the first expression left alone, secant x, times the derivative of the second expression, the derivative of tangent, which is secant squared. So y prime, or dy dx, is equal to the secant of x times a tangent times another tangent, which we can write as tangent squared of x, plus the secant times the secant squared of x, which will be the secant cubed of x. We add the exponents. 1 plus 2 is 3. So there's our derivative y prime or dy dx. The next thing to do is evaluate y prime of pi over 3. That means to plug a pi over 3 in for each of the x's. So we will have secant of pi over 3, tangent squared of pi over 3, plus secant cubed of pi over 3. So secant of pi over 3 times tangent squared means to evaluate the tangent first and then square the result. And secant cubed means to evaluate the secant first and then cube the result. The secant of pi over 3 is 1 over the cosine of pi over 3. The cosine of pi over 3 is a 1/2. So we'll have a 1 over a 1/2. The tangent of pi over 3 is the sine of pi over 3, root 3 over 2, over the cosine of pi over 3, 1/2. And then we have the quantity squared, plus the secant of pi over 3 again, which is 1 over the cosine of pi over 3, 1 over 1/2, and then the quantity cubed. The first fraction, 1 over 1/2, we're going to reciprocate the 1/2 and multiply it, so 1 times 2 over 1. The second fraction, again, we will reciprocate the denominator, and it'll be a 2 over 1. We're going to multiply with the numerator, and then squared. And the same thing with the third fraction. It'll be 1 times a 2 over 1, and then quantity cubed. So this will equal to 1 times 2 over 1 is 2 over 1, or just 2. For the root 3 over 2 and the 2 over 1, we can cancel the 2's out. So let's cancel those. And so that's just going to be root 3 over 1, or just root 3 squared. And then 1 times 2 over 1 will be 2 over 1, or just 2, and then cubed. So we will have 2 times root 3 squared. Root 3 squared is a 3. 2 times 3 plus 2 cubed. 2 times 2 times another 2 is an 8. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 8. And we end up with 14.